Have you ever felt wronged, hurt, or betrayed? It's a tough feeling, isn't it? And in those moments, the idea of forgiveness can seem almost impossible. How many times should we forgive someone who keeps hurting us? Is there a limit? It's a question that one of Jesus' closest disciples, Peter, asked him directly. He probably thought he was being generous when he suggested a number. The answer he received, however, was staggering, and it led to one of the most powerful and challenging parables Jesus ever told. It's a story about debt, mercy, and the profound connection between the forgiveness we receive and the forgiveness we must give. This story forces us to look in the mirror and ask ourselves a hard question. Are we truly grateful for the grace we've been shown, or do we hold on to bitterness while expecting mercy for ourselves? Let's dive into Matthew chapter 18, starting at verse 21 from the New Living Translation, and uncover the deep truths in the parable of the unforgiving debtor. Then Peter came to him and asked, "Lord, how often should I forgive someone who sins against me? 7 times?" "No, not 7 times," Jesus replied, "but 70 times 7. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven can be compared to a king who decided to bring his accounts up to date with servants who had borrowed money from him. In the process, one of his debtors was brought in who owed him millions of dollars. He couldn't pay, so his master ordered that he be sold along with his wife, his children, and everything he owned to pay the debt. But the man fell down before his master and begged him, 'Please, be patient with me, and I will pay it all.' Then his master was filled with pity for him, and he released him and forgave his debt. But when the man left the king, he went to a fellow servant who owed him a few $1,000s. He grabbed him by the throat and demanded instant payment. His fellow servant fell down before him and begged for a little more time. 'Be patient with me, and I will pay it,' he pleaded. But his creditor wouldn't wait. He had the man arrested and put in prison until the debt could be paid in full. When some of the other servants saw this, they were very upset. They went to the king and told him everything that had happened. Then the king called in the man he had forgiven and said, 'You evil servant, I forgave you that tremendous debt because you pleaded with me. Shouldn't you have mercy on your fellow servant, just as I had mercy on you?' Then the angry king sent the man to prison to be tortured until he had paid his entire debt. That is what my heavenly Father will do to you if you refuse to forgive your brothers and sisters from your heart." What a powerful and sobering story. Let's unpack what Jesus is teaching us here. Peter's question is one we can all relate. 2. How many times should I forgive? He suggests 7, which in Jewish tradition was a number symbolizing completeness and was already quite generous. But Jesus' reply, 70 times 7, isn't a math problem. He's not telling us to keep a tally up to 490 and then stop forgiving. He's using hyperbole to make a point. Our forgiveness should be limitless, just like God's. To illustrate this, he tells the parable. The first servant owes the king an astronomical amount. The original text says 10,000 talents. A single talent was worth about 20 years of a laborer's wages. So we're talking about a debt so massive it would be impossible to ever repay. This colossal debt represents our sin against a holy and perfect God. It's unpayable. We are spiritually bankrupt before Him. Just as the servant is about to face the consequences, losing his family, his freedom, everything he begs for mercy, and the king, moved with compassion, does something extraordinary. He doesn't just give him more time. He cancels the entire debt. He wipes the slate clean. This is a picture of God's grace. When we come to God in humility, recognizing our own inability to pay the price for our sin, He doesn't just put us on a payment plan. He forgives us completely and freely through the sacrifice of Jesus. But the story takes a dark turn. The servant who has just been forgiven this unimaginable debt goes out and finds a fellow servant who owes him a tiny amount, in comparison 100 denarii, which was about 3 months' wages. It's not nothing, but compared to the millions he was just forgiven, it's pocket change. And what does he do? He shows no mercy. He grabs the man by the throat, demands immediate payment, and refuses to show the same patience that was just shown to him. He has his fellow servant thrown into prison. The very words the second servant uses, "Be patient with me, and I will pay it," are the exact same words the first servant used to the king. Yet, he is unmoved. The hypocrisy is shocking. How could someone who has experienced such immense mercy be so merciless? This is the heart of Jesus' message. The servant's unforgiveness revealed that he never truly understood or appreciated the grace he had received. He saw it as a get-out-of-jail-free card for himself, not as a transformative act of love that should change how he views and treats others. When the king hears about it, he is furious. He calls the servant evil and reinstates the original debt, handing him over to be punished. The final verse is the chilling conclusion, "That is what my heavenly Father will do to you if you refuse to forgive your brothers and sisters from your heart." This parable teaches us that forgiveness is not optional for a Christian. Our ability to forgive others flows directly from our understanding of how much we have been forgiven by God. When we hold on to bitterness, resentment, and a desire for revenge, it is like we are telling God that the debt someone owes us is greater than the unpayable debt He forgave us. It shows a heart that has not been truly transformed by His grace. Forgiveness is not saying what someone did was okay. It's not forgetting the hurt or necessarily reconciling immediately. Forgiveness is a choice, an act of the will, to release the person from the debt they owe you, just as God has released you. It's about letting go of your right to get even and entrusting that person to God. So, the next time you struggle to forgive someone, remember this parable, remember the 10,000 talents, remember the immeasurable grace that God has poured out on you, and out of gratitude for that incredible gift, extend mercy to others. Forgive from the heart, not because they deserve it, but because you have been shown mercy when you didn't deserve it. Thank you for watching. If this message resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the depths of faith. See you next time. I love reading your comments, so let me know if you love Jesus. I will pray for you, everyone. Search for Jesus at HaroldSwaney for the complete library of my Bible study videos. Thank you and God bless.